Good morning and happy Thursday. We are the Real Prosperity Podcast. I am Tanisha Teering, and this is.
Charlene Reedman, how's it going, everybody? So glad to be back today to do another episode number 4. Holy smokes, Tanisha, we're just rolling.
This is awesome. Yes. So, for all of you that are new listeners, welcome. And for those of you that have been following us on our journey, welcome back. Our Real Prosperity Project is about prosperity in all areas of life. It encompasses more than just financial success. It includes emotional, physical, social, and spiritual well being. We're Tanisha and Charlene, as we said, and we want to share our real life experiences and lessons learned, overcoming challenges and our moments of triumph with all of you. We are excited to share this journey so that we can help you cultivate abundance and growth in your daily life and journey along with us while we do that. This helps to develop a mindset of prosperity that not only benefits ourselves, but it also inspires all of the people around us. So that's what we're here for, and that's what our podcast is about. Welcome, welcome.
Yeah, and it's really interesting, Tanisha, since we started doing this and creating this podcast, there's even a huge shift for myself personally. So this has been super beneficial just for me. Just thank you
Mhm.
for you're a brilliant idea. And it's I guess I think maybe I've talked about this before, but if we don't, if we talk the talk, but if we don't walk the walk, it's kind of pointless, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, it's been really, really beneficial.
100%. It's a practice what you preach moment. And
Yeah,
yeah, it has really changed and affected a lot of things in my life, just noticing and being able to speak about it, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and today we're going to talk about your authentic self, how to, be authentically you. And, you know, this is a really interesting subject. It's quite deep, actually,
Mhm.
Tanisha. There's a lot of elements to it, and there's a lot of thought that needs to go into this, and a lot of reflection, and then how you want to move forward with, becoming your authentic self. What does that actually mean for you? And yeah, just there's so many. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here today, Tanisha.
A lot, definitely. Yeah, so with authenticity, that really brings up um frequency and vibration and how you're showing up. And Charlene, if you wouldn't mind sharing your screen,
Oh,
I have a little tool here that I would love to share with all of you so that we can discuss it and really get deep down into the authentic self. So Charlene's going to share this. Uh,
yes. If I could,
we're
I
tech
had it
wizards,
ready, and
just
now
so you
I'm
know.
not ready. Where did it go? Okay.
And that's part of real life is this right here, is you
Yeah.
don't have to be perfect. You just have to try.
Yeah. It's so crazy. We're like, yeah, let's test this before we get rolling. I'm like, there, it worked perfect. And well, here we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, now I got to find Tanisha again. It's interesting. When I was going through my training with Bob Proctor, he talks a lot about frequency and how important that is, and our vibration.
Hmm.
And we can have low vibration, we can have high vibration, and it is not showing up for me, Tanisha.
Oh, well, that's okay. We can just talk about it and wing it.
Okay.
So, and as Charlene finds it, maybe we can bring it up. But you know what? What my point was is it's called something called the map of consciousness, and you guys are more than welcome to Google it. It'll be everywhere. You can look
Yeah,
it up.
it's
Um,
by
and
David R. Hawkins for anyone trying to find the right one.
Perfect.
David,
Okay,
yeah,
so
okay.
what this is saying is that there are levels of consciousness, okay? And when we are choosing into a certain emotion or feeling like shame or guilt or fear, we are at the bottom of that map of consciousness. So when we are focusing on that, we are resonating at that certain frequency. It's a very low frequency. And so we're going to attract more low frequency in our life. And so this is actually from a TikTok. Actually, I follow a gentleman named Luke Belmar. And I love how he perceives things. And so he was talking about a study, and higher up in that map of consciousness, here it is. Thank you, Charlene, for getting that up. Is as we go up in different sorts of feelings, anger, pride, courage, here we're raising our frequency. We're going to start attracting more of that. So love, joy, abundance, and it just keeps getting higher. So we're going to be attracting more of that. And what he says is, at the tippity top there is love and gratitude. So, but even higher than that is enlightenment. Okay. And this is shining at our authentic self. Okay. So what he says is enlightenment is actually true authenticity. Okay. And he said there was a study done in a Faraday cage. Now, for those of you that don't know what a Faraday cage is, it's basically a room that doesn't allow any Wi-Fi or 5G or any outside external forces. So they were absolutely able to get a clear subjective test here. And what he was saying is that enlightenment, when people were showing up as their true, authentic selves, it was actually 4 times higher of a frequency than love. 4 times higher. And that is just incredible, right? So enlightenment is actually being the highest form of living life authentically and living life being your truest version of yourself.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like 4 times higher. So you're really calling in great energy when you are living authentically.
Yeah, and this chart is so interesting because have you ever been around people and they're like, nothing ever goes right for me, or you know, um, that negativity. Where on this chart are they? They're in fear
Mm-hmm.
or shame,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I mean, I've been there. I've been there where it's just like nothing, and then we start getting those horrible thoughts in our mind, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of like, what practices can we implement into our lives to help lift us and then help lift our frequency. And
Mm-hmm.
often it comes down to what we're telling ourselves in our brain.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. And that's so true, is because there's really 3 ways of being, right? And I was watching something by Mel Robbins, and I don't remember who she was uh interviewing, but it was beautiful. And the first level is the authentic self. Okay. And that being is like, how to determine what level you're being in is basically this. So if there was no consequences, like no negative consequences for your actions, this is how you'd show up. Okay. So this is what feels the best to do. This is how you determine if you're being your authentic self. Okay. Is, that's what feels best. And number 2 was the adapted self, right? So this is the version of you that you willingly and happily choose to adjust your behaviors to meet the needs of yourself and others, right? So you're happily choosing to do this because you want to do it. And that's called the adapted self. That's number 2, right? And then number 3, and this is where most people sit, is the performing self. This is the majority of the population. This is the self where, if we have grown up in a very high pressure environment where we were told to perform a certain way, this is how we were expected to behave at school or at church, or and there's nothing wrong with that. That's just how we were taught to be, the performing self is, it feels the most fake. It feels like a mask, like we're hiding. And it's really just to avoid judgment. And this is all ego driven, right? At that point. And so we need to just be mindful of paying attention to when we're behaving in those ways, because then we can say, hey, I'm being a mask right now. I'm wearing a mask. And we can say, I don't want to be that way anymore. I want to show up as me. So we get that opportunity by just simply reflecting.
Yeah, 100%. I have so many thoughts going around in my brain about becoming, or, transitioning into your authentic self. And like Tanisha said, it is our programming. And guess what? Our brains are reprogrammable.
Hmm.
Crazy, hey? It's just like a computer system, it's programmed to do certain things and can be reprogrammed. And our brains are very, very, well, basically the same. I don't know if, Tanisha, have you ever listened with Dr. Joe Dispenza?
I have a little bit, yeah, not a lot.
Yeah, he goes into great depth about the reprogramming of our brains, and the like, we're electricity, right? We
Hmm.
are, and that's why our vibration can, if you your turn on a light in your house and it's dim, it's probably ready to be changed, right? So
Mm.
the electricity is, or its vibration is come to its end. So then we put in a brand new light bulb, and it's bright again. So, that's, we're similar. We have that electricity going through our bodies. And that's even when I was going through my Bob Proctor training, he talked about a high level of vibration all the time. So, for an example, um, have you ever been in a crowd of people and you're immediately attracted to somebody? And that can be like, whatever scenario. It could be they just seem really interesting, or they just you have an instant connection, but you've never met them before. That's vibration. So that
Hmm.
person is either at a higher level of vibration than you are, and that's what's making them um, attract people to them, or there's this instant connection. Like, can you imagine you put your finger in the electric socket? Please don't do this at home. And you get that shock, right? Sometimes you meet somebody and you just get that shock. So that's
Yeah.
vibration.
Yeah, and that is that higher frequency. And I love that you brought that up. Brought that up. That's so funny. Please don't test that at home. Don't stick your finger in an outlet. Uh, but
Yeah,
you're right.
disclaimer, disclaimer.
When you walk into a room, and it can go that one of two ways, right? You can either feel welcome and happy and, oh, this is an uplifting environment. Oh my gosh, that person over there is smiling so big. I just love their energy. That is that sitting in acceptance, will, and above, right? Those blue and purple, frequencies. But you can also walk into a room and you can have that ick. You can be like, ooh, I don't want to be here. And that's
Yep.
because people are sitting in fear and grief and apathy and like guilt and shame. And, you're choosing to bring that there, right? So these people are choosing to sit in that feeling, and that's their least authentic self. That's that performing self, right? But when you're sitting in that authentic self, that's when people are attracted to you. That's when
Yep.
you can build great, authentic relationships. That's when you're able to build strong businesses and career paths and get on track and, really be attracting what is best for you, is when you're sitting in that, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, this is actually to become an authentically yourself. This is kind of a self study and of your surroundings, your environment, because We get to choose to create our environment. We get to choose. So remember that. So, even looking at your circle of the people closest to you that you hang out with, are they the right fit for your journey? Now, maybe they have to move out a bit of your circle. And that's not saying you're going to love them any less, but you just have to move them out a bit to the outer edge of the circle to make room to bring in to the higher vibration of people that you need to help you through this journey.
Yeah.
And the people often that you've moved out to the outer edges of your circle, they're either they're gonna see a shift and they're gonna want back, or maybe they leave altogether, and that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. And that's so bang on, like 100% of what's going to happen as you're deciding to become your authentic self, and as you're really noticing and being mindful of what state you're being in, is because when you decide right now, I'm ready to be my most authentic self, you're going to scare some people away. And that's not bad. It's just they're not going to be cool with it because they were only resonating with the performing self. They weren't resonating with your authentic self. And that's not to say that they're bad people or you're bad people or you're doing anything wrong. That just means that you have outgrown that specific version, you know? And this is kind of what they call the destruction phase of transformation, is like you're knocking down all the buildings so that you can rebuild them in a better image of who you are, right? It's not all sunshine and rainbows, becoming your authentic version of yourself. It's just, hey, am I worth it? Am I worth that true prosperity? Am I worth being me? Right?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
it can be painful.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. If this was like a smooth journey, I mean, more people would be doing it, right? But
Yeah.
it's not a smooth journey. It's going to be ups and downs, and, but the biggest thing is reflecting and learning from those situations. And then, oh, hey, what could we have done differently moving forward? Yeah. I mean, it's not all going to be sunshines, roses, and unicorns,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah. And that's just a
Yeah.
piece of transformation. You know, you're
Yeah.
going to like like I said, scare some people away. However, that's making room for people that resonate with your authentic being, and you are going to be more prosperous on the other side of it because you're going to have those better relationships. You're going to have happiness more of the time, more joy, more peace. And that is where we truly need to get to. And those people that fall out of your circle, they're still there, you know. They just get a chance to resonate with people that they're authentic with.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm just going to stop share,
Yeah.
if that's okay.
Yes, please.
All right. But yeah, that's authenticity is, um, I think step one is you have to be, accept yourself for who you are right at this moment.
Yeah.
Right. And, give yourself a hug and be okay with where you are right now. Because there's things in life that got you to where you are today, right? So embrace them and, support your self-esteem. What does that look like? Well, I think to me, self-esteem kind of ties in with confidence
Mm-hmm.
and, being able to step into something that maybe you really wanted to do, but were maybe too hard on yourself, saying you're not worthy of that. Well, you are worthy to do whatever it is you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
um, and act on your personal beliefs and values. Now, this one's going to take some time because I think if you're going to work on your personal beliefs, you need to work on personal beliefs that are good personal beliefs, but also what beliefs do you have that may be holding you back from doing the thing you want to do?
Yes.
And then from there, you can create your own values. Now, some example of values could be I'm going to hold the highest integrity to myself, number one, and then to everybody else around me. Integrity, right?
Hmm.
I'm going to put I don't know, help me out, Tanisha, some other or values. Um, you know,
Service,
service.
be of
Be
service.
Yeah, that's a big one. Be of service. Be of service in your community. Maybe you go to church. Maybe you're the one that holds the door open every Sunday morning at church and welcomes people, in. That's huge. Leave people better off than you found them,
Hmm.
right? You go to the grocery store and, you know, compliment the cashier.
Yeah.
Tell her what a great day she's having. So, just leave a little light as you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Always
I
smile,
always
at
smile.
people. When you make eye contact, don't make it weird. Just
Yeah.
give them a smile. Say, beautiful day, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
you don't you don't need to give time or money in the sense that for service, but just a smile, a compliment, a door hold, like Charlene was saying, those go so far into changing someone's entire day. It really does,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, and
100%.
that's a great, authentic act of service.
Yeah. And see, these are just even little things you can start doing to start creating the bigger,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and you mentioned it. Integrity is such a huge part of that confidence that allows you to be your authentic self. Because when you lie to yourself, you are then vibrating in those low frequencies, in that shame, in that guilt. Because let's say, for example, I said, hey, I'm going to get up at 6 a.m., I'm going to have my coffee, I'm going to jump in my cold plunge, and then I'm going to work out or whatever order. And you hit the snooze 5 times and now it's 6:30 and you didn't get into your cold plunge and you didn't work out and you drank your coffee on the run. Well, yeah, that may not seem like a big picture you're affecting anyone else's life, but you're affecting yours.
Yeah.
You're truly losing integrity with yourself because you just lied to yourself, and that puts you into those lower frequencies. So now you're not being authentic to who you are. But really, you're also telling yourself things and making those things up. When you don't get up at 6 in the morning, you're a 6:30 person, then don't try to set yourself up for failure.
Exactly.
Just adjust your life to follow so that you can start keeping those promises to yourself so you can start being your authentic self.
Yeah,
Don't lie to yourself.
exactly. I'm gonna go back to that self-esteem because um, self-esteem also can be people pleasing.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna dress this way so that I'm accepted into whatever, into that crowd, or I'm or you're busy doing stuff for everybody else so that they're happy with you.
Hmm.
But I bet you if you were authentic, more like truly authentic, and not that, okay, I don't want to get this out the wrong way. I mean, of course, you're still going to help people, but to what extent? So, people pleasing is a big one. And there is a book by John Maxwell called Leader Shift. Actually, I'd love to do a podcast on this. And one of the chapters is specific about people pleasing. And he was a people pleaser,
Mm.
and it didn't get him anywhere. Just it sometimes, often, you'll end up being used. Oh, we'll
Yeah.
get we'll get Tanisha to do it. She'll do it. Let's get Tanisha to do it. She'll do it. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. You know what? We will, to our listeners, let us know if there's any books you want us to deep dive into, because that would be a really great podcast too. But I love Charlene's idea, and we're going to do that in the near future. Is we're going to sit down and discuss that book that Charlene just
Yeah.
was referencing, because yeah, it is a really, really great read. And yeah, has a lot of amazing information, and we can talk about our perspectives of it in a different episode. That's great. I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, I just, for a short time with you guys today, um, becoming your authentic self, like do some digging, do some researching, um, to find the tools that you need to help you become authentically you,
Hmm.
and reach out to us. We'd love to chit chat more about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my tip of the day, Tanisha, I got it wrote down here, is to be truly authentic, follow your own path. So break away from the masses, go out and try something new, right? And don't worry, just try it. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't like it, but how do you know unless you try, right?
Hmm.
And when you're, oh, I already said this, but when you're people pleasing, you're not being yourself. You're being what you think you should be. Instead look inward and work on becoming who you really want to be. Oh,
Yeah.
gives me some great
That's
ideas to
awesome.
work on this week.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. And just to add to what Charlene said, just be mindful of who you're being in that moment. Are you performing? Are you adapting? Or are you being authentic?
Oh, I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. Cool.
So thank you so much for joining us today. Please subscribe, follow, share our link with others if you like the content here, and comment,
Yeah.
ask a question.
And have a great day.
Yeah.
And go out in the world today and smile, be helpful, be mindful, and just enjoy life, because we only get one chance.
Yeah. Find the prosperity in your day.
Exactly.
Awesome. We will see you next Thursday.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.